What up, y'all? It's your boy Kev on stage. Welcome to the Patreon only. But for now, everybody in the free world, Death Note episode 2 chat. Let me set some ground rules for you. I got the comments down below. Here's how I'd like these to go, whether you join the Patreon or not, or join the Patreon, or you're just watching for now. I don't want the show to get spoiled. Okay. So if you've seen past episode 2, which is what we're discussing today, then don't spoil it, but also don't light spoil it. No pun intended. And what I mean by light spoiling is like when I watched the first episode, before I turned the comments off, I saw people be like, "Oh, wait till you see this person," or "Wait till episode 23 when this happened." Don't tell me nothing. Don't tell me nothing. This is public for everybody. I said that in the Patreon because I want people to know what they could be missing if they're not in the Patreon. But I ain't gonna be doing them like that often. But I'm new to the anime community, and obviously I'm a businessman. So if this is something you might be interested in, I got to let you know what you could be interested in. All right. So that's why it's public, but it ain't gonna be public like that often. What I'm usually gonna do is talk it out with the people who are in the community, and then I'll make my video later. I've already shot my episode 2 reaction video because I like to shoot them. If it's a really good episode, like episode 2 was, I like to shoot that right after I see it. And I actually stopped on my walk this morning and shot it in the middle of my neighborhood because I like to shoot the reactions while they're fresh. So can y'all do that for me? I'm trying not to look down at the comments. I'm trying to look at this, and also this will help me not get spoiled. But I also do got my notes down here because I want to make sure I talk about everything that's interesting to me. But hello, welcome to the chat. I just want to say, to the anime community and my friends who watch anime, why y'all, nobody, and I mean this with all seriousness, nobody who was a friend of mine said, "Hey Kev, you should check out this anime show. You'll like it." Not Pat, not Cleo, not Roxy, not Keenan Baker, nobody who I actually know, not Young Deuces. It wasn't until Dragonfly Jones on Twitter said, "Hey man, this show, Blue Eye Samurai, is a great show. I don't even watch anime like that. It's one of the best things I've seen all year." And I was like, dang, all year. And I respect Dragonfly's opinion. And I was finna go out of town. I needed a new show. And the thing is, like, Tahir, who's a friend of mine, he'd be like, "Yo, Gangs of London is good, Kev. I think you'll like that." Why did nobody who watch anime say, "Kev, if you like this, you probably watch Attack on Titan"? So people like you getting into it, why it took you so long? Ain't nobody put me to the side. Ain't nobody told me nothing. All right. Now, once I said I'm watching anime, then everybody was like, "Watch this, watch that, watch that." But I'm talking about before that. But I digress. Second thing I want to say before I get into the episode, them Japanese people, they know how to write a pilot, and they know how to set up a premise, and they know how to write a second episode. Actually, let me say something to this. I just assume people don't watch it. I get that. I know the anime community had been hurt by the Black community. There was a lot of different ways people was made fun of, but I never messed with people in my high school was in the anime. Y'all know I was cool with everybody. So that wasn't me. And again, real quick, if you want to have chats like this on a more regular basis, join the Patreon. Kev on Stage Studios is my Patreon. You can go to kevonstage.com, click Patreon. You can go to patreon.com, click Kev on Stage Studios. Creating an anime community for people who like anime and people who want to hear from a funny person like me. If you don't want to, you ain't got to do nothing. You a grown adult. The $5 you choose to do with your own $5 a month is up to you. I'm just offering it to you. All right. Now, let's get into Death Note. So, episode 2. First, what I really liked. Light is smart. Light has everything you need to be a perfect serial killer. He's genius. These serial killers got to be smart. You can't be an oaf and be a good serial killer. You got to think you're smart. You got to be smart, and you got to be smarter than everybody. And they already set up in the pilot that Light is #1 in his class. And he even still with the Death Note notebook, he still ain't dropping. He was telling Shinigami Ryuk, he was like, look, man, I can't, I got to get in the bed. Okay. I got school. I come home from school. I got to study. I got to get my murders in my book. Then I got to make time to study. Then I got to get my rest, because if I slip, then it's all for naught. Everybody got to know I'm the man, but my grades can't slip. Yes, I'm murdering people all throughout the day. When the rest of y'all people's got basketball practice and this and that, I am murdering people. However, I got to get these straight A's. I got to get this 4.0, 1600 on the SATs, 35 on the ACTs. I'm going to an HBCU. I believe Light wants to go to Morehouse College. They have not picked his college yet, but I believe he wants to go to Morehouse. And believe it or not, you do not have to be a Black to go to an HBCU. He probably going Morehouse or Howard, maybe Fisk. If he's risky, maybe TSU, okay, in Texas, not Tennessee State, but maybe Tennessee State as well. But I feel like he's a Morehouse man. I could see him wearing a tie. I could see him, you know what I'm saying, in student government, in debate, if he didn't have these murders to achieve. Ryuk is funny to me because he is the god of death. He's a Shinigami. And the thing he likes more than death, or on par with death, is apples. The boy just be like, y'all apples is just pristine. I kill people for a living. I'm bored with this. But these apples, truly enjoy. I truly enjoy. So anyway, back to how smart Light is. He's got all the things to be a good serial killer. Genius, means, he don't seem to be poor. His mom be cooking, cutting up apples and stuff. Motive, he wants to make the world a better place through murder. And the most important factor of all, God complex. His goal is a selfish goal. I want to kill all the bad people in the world, not just to make the world a better place, pish posh, but so that everybody recognizes me as the great person that I am. That's why I said he's like Dexter Hall from the show Dexter, who's also a serial killer, who also killed criminals, and who also wanted people to recognize his greatness. So he has all that. And then they really showcase his smarts in where he hides the Death Note. So in the second episode, and this is the other thing I really like about anime, they don't give you everything in the pilot, right? They give you the information as you see it through good conversation. So they talk about hiding the diary in the desk. So what he does is he put the key in the desk and he got the diary. And his thought process, which I thought was genius, is if people think I'm hiding something and there's a key, they're going to open it. They see diary, they're going to open that, flip, flip, flip. They'll feel like it's too hidden in plain sight. And I was like, that is good. That's great, Light. I'm like, okay, that's really smart. But then he got a false bottom. And I'm like, okay, they might think false bottom. But the key to the false bottom, and that's why I was like, okay, Light, you really on your Zoom. And I don't really know what on your Zoom means, but I've seen people use that phrase, and I feel like I used it correctly. But y'all let me know in the comments if I'm being an old head and I don't know. So in plain sight, he got a ballpoint pen. You take the cap off the pen, you push that up, and it's like a rigged bomb explosive thing. You can push it up a little bit, and then you can take the notebook out. But if you pull the thing up from the top, and I didn't understand the science of this, if you take it out from the top, it will catch on fire. So he's like, he just watched Training Day. So he's like, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. So it doesn't matter if somebody opens it. If it catches on fire and burns their hand, burn the house down, they can't prove that I was using the Death Note. And Ryuk is the most chill Grim Reaper I've ever seen. He like, okay, you actually pretty smart. Usually people who get the Death Note, the hardest thing that they have to do is hide it. Because if anybody touches it, then they can also see Ryuk. And I also thought, I don't know, Ryuk was going to be doing the killing. He just seems to not be wanting to be in the nether world where he's supposed to be, because he was bored and he didn't want to gamble. So he's just chilling on Earth. I thought he was doing the killing, and maybe he is doing it telepathically or not. But he was like, you was a killer, right? So boom. Now, here's what I think is interesting. Here's what I'm actually going to go to the comments on this. The people in the town are catching on to what's going on, and they gave Light the nickname Kita, which I guess is killer. And they made websites, and they're texting. They're texting like, "Yo, kill this person, kill that person." Right? That was crazy. And the point that the show is making, and Light kind of pointed this out. I thought that was interesting. He was like, people act like they're good. Like if you ask somebody, would you kill somebody? Most people will be like, no, I would never kill nobody. I could never. Murder who? He was the best guy around. But when you in your room and the lights off and you anonymous in the internet, and you can just text, I would kill somebody. Lo and behold, people do want to murder. So let me ask y'all this in the comments, and please don't spoil it because I do want to look in the comments. Do you agree that more people are more evil than they let on? There's more dark passengers. Ryuk is literally a dark passenger, just like Dexter had that dark passenger. But do you feel like more people have it in them to want to see people dead? Because I don't think I could. And see, okay, y'all saying yes. I agree. The power would be calling out to me. Yeah, I agree with this. The best premise of the show, showing people's true nature when consequences are not a factor. That's what I think is interesting. Yeah. The Purge, see World War II. Yes, this is good too, especially if you can justify it on morality-based things. I agree with that. I think a lot of people don't murder because of the law, and that's it. I agree. Okay. Now let me ask y'all this. Do you think you as a person could could do the death note or could write in? If it would never be traced back to you, is there somebody's name in that book that you'd be willing to write if you knew nobody would ever know it's you? Let me see what y'all say, because it's gonna probably prove Light's point. See, most people, I don't want that type of power. Nah, I couldn't. Nah, Letitia Buckner said, I absolutely am a murderer. Jimmy said, yep. I only feel self-defense. No, I'd be tired. I think it'd be tempting. You could write your own. See, most people agree, but more people, there's a couple people saying yes, maybe about half, a little bit more than half, but more people are saying no, which is his point. So I was like, okay, I thought that was really interesting because I really thought about it in the comfort of my own mind. And I was like, there's nobody on earth that I think I could just be like this name, that name, and then watch them die. Or is there? All right. So then here's where this show really got good to me. All right. And I ain't gonna hold you. This one, I was already all in on the pilot, but when they went to I think it was the IPOC, and I don't know what that stands for, but it was like all the police of the world, International Police Ops Coordinate. I don't know. But when they all met up, it was super interesting because I felt like the writing is very close to what human nature really is. It was like, all these people, all these criminals are dying. We got to do something about it. And some of the dissenting voices were like, do something about what? They let them die. We don't care. They're already bad. And they were like, it's all heart attacks. And the other person was like, they can't all be dying of heart attacks. Are you crazy? Like, come on, bro. Niggas ain't, not niggas, but you know what I'm saying? People ain't just dying of heart attacks like that every day. It's got to be something more than that. So they're going back and forth, and they're like, we got to find out this person. You can, this could be a powerful conglomerate or whatever, right? So then it was like, L is on the case. And it was, ooh, L. And because I didn't know and nobody spoiled it, I was in the crowd like, who is L? Who is L? I don't know L. And great writing. This is what they do a lot in early episodes. There was a person next to the dude who was like, oh, L is on the case. He was like, since you new to the conference, let me tell you who L is so I could tell the audience. He like, this nigga L, cuz he is the smartest detective ever. He ain't never lost a case. But watch this. don't nobody know who L is. Nobody's ever seen him. Nobody's ever heard his voice. This nigga don't be on nothing. Like his name is in Old English. It's a cool little graphic. But this dude has been solving case after case, but he's a little arrogant, a little vain, and he only wants to solve cases that are interesting to him. So we get him on the case, we gonna solve it, right? So they send his representative. He come in looking like Inspector Gadget, and he's like, L wants to address the room. And L's like, what up, y'all? It's Big L. Okay. And I was calling Light Big Light in episode 1, but because L was introduced, I'm talking about, I immediately, after this episode, I'm Team L. I was Team Light first. I immediately after this was like, okay, L is that dude. L come on the screen. He's like, okay, watch this. Let me tell y'all what. I'm gonna take on y'all little case. And I believe the killer's in Japan. And they like, what? Crowd Walla. Why you think he's in Japan? He's like, let me just tell you, I'm L. Okay, you need me. I don't need you. But he didn't say that, but the energy was there. He's like, just trust me. I got a good feeling about it being one person in Japan. All right, so let me do my one thing. And afterwards, I'll prove to you that I'm right. So they like, all right, bet. And I'm like, okay, what he gonna do, right? And then I'm just an ideal viewer because he just said that, and then when it was happening, I didn't realize that's what was happening. So you know what I'm saying? Cut to, uh, cut to, they bring out the broadcast, right? And they got the name placard out, and it's like Lind L. Taylor. I'm talking about this man got an L in every name. Lind, middle initial L, Taylor. He got a trench coat on, and he's like, I'm Lind L. Taylor. And we believe that the killer is in Japan, and I'm coming to find you, and this and this and that and that. And the people are like, oh my God, he's never come out like this. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, snap. Like what I thought was, and I was wrong, and trust me, I have no problem being wrong. I'm still going to be guessing. When I was watching Attack on Titan, I don't think I predicted anything correctly. The only thing I knew was that Eren was going to die in the last episode. I thought he was going to self-sacrifice himself or self-sacrifice. Do I need to say himself? I thought he was going to sacrifice himself, not self-sacrifice himself. I thought he was going to sacrifice himself for his friends, but he was really like, no, I'm going to make you kill me, which is not exactly the same thing, but I did predict he was going to die in the final episode with some time left on his clock. And I did predict that he was going to be doing it for his friends. But because of everything else, I didn't realize he was going to murder the whole world. I digress. And I don't get things right. And it's be cool. It don't bother me. So what I think is happening is I thought Lind L. Taylor was L. I was like, okay, he going to switch it up because he really want to catch Light. He going to switch it up and do something he never done before. But what I thought was he knew how the, like, I guess magic worked or whatever. I actually thought he had the other Death Note and he was trying to be a killer too. Both were wrong. And I thought his name wasn't Lind L. Taylor. I thought it was like Lindley, Laron, or I thought he had like Latraviousness and there was an apostrophe somewhere. And if you don't put the right apostrophe in, then that person don't die. So I thought he was tricking Light, and he figured he was going to write his name down and he was just going to fake a heart attack. I was wrong. What happened is Lind L. Taylor gives his whole speech. We coming for you, blah, 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 blase, blase. And Light is back at home with Ryuk. And he's like, what, boy? You don't know who you talking to, cuz? Light on mine, cuz. You think you going to catch me? Watch this. Lind L. Taylor. Boop. 40 seconds, nigga. Heart attack coming. John Q can't save you. You finna die. Right? That's what I thought was going to happen. 40 seconds happens. The dude crumbles. Has a heart attack. And I thought it was going to be like, psych. And I was like, oh, dang, they use psych in Japanese. That did not happen. This man died for real. It's not funny. It's not funny. But I was so surprised It was like he died. They carried him off, and then L's like logo comes on the TV, and he's like, "Got you, boy. Yeah, you thought that was me? That was Lindell Taylor for real, but I'm not Lindell Taylor. That was a criminal." And what we did was, because I had a hunch, what we did was we never put his name on TV. We never broadcasted in the news. We arrested him secretly, and he was going to be on death row later, probably 10, 15 years from now. But you death rowed him right now, which was a risk we was willing to take. He was going to die anyway. But I did, quick aside, I wonder what they told that man. Like, why did Linda L. Taylor go up and do that speech? Because I'm certain he didn't know what was happening. He's like, yeah, you just go up and do that speech. Don't worry, bro. If you do this, you're going to get off scot-free. He's like, scot-free? Scot-free. Just say this. They wrote it down, and he said it. And then he died. And this is like, got to be quicker than that. But then L comes on TV, and he was like, boy, I knew it. So let me tell you what I know now. Boom. I know it's you. Okay. I know you can now kill people without being there. Okay. I don't know how, but I had a hunch. And I know you're in Japan because psych again, you thought that we was doing this globally, but it's really just in your little district. I don't remember the name of the town, but it's really just in your district because I had to tell them police boys that I know this person's in Japan. So we broadcast in this district, but we told everybody it was worldwide. And guess what? I'm on you like white on rice in a snowstorm in an igloo on piece of paper and white privilege and affirmative action. I'm on you, and I'm gonna catch you, and you never gonna find out who I am. And then Ryuk was like, okay, it's funny. Ryuk is for a god of death. Okay. His execution was scheduled for that day. Okay, cool. That's what I missed. So they just did it early. Okay, appreciate you, senpai. Ryuk was us. Ryuk was like, oh, he got you there. I said, Ryuk it was just funny. I don't know if he's gonna be funny the whole time, but Ryuk was just like, oh, snap. This is crazy. You thought you was smarter than him. Oh, look what happened now. He done pulled up on you. And Ryuk is like, guess whoever wins, whoever's identity gets exposed first is gonna die. Right. So, and the thing about L that was funny, the camera was like halfway here, and he had the hair, right? He had the hair like early Justin Bieber, and he was side profile, and he was like, "Oh snap!" He like Miss Info or Girl 6. He was like, "Yeah, so I know you in Japan, and I know you think you're smarter than anybody, but you ain't smarter than me, and you don't know nothing but L. You don't know my name. My name is Latravion Laviciousness, but you don't know where the apostrophe is, and you don't know who I am. You don't even know what my eyes look like. My eyes could be brown, could be green, could be black, could be blue, couldn't have. Maybe I don't got no eyes. Maybe I don't got no eyes. Maybe I got one eye, but you don't know who I am. I don't know who you are, but I'm on you." And then they both, and this was really good. This is why I like this show, because they do the split screen, and they're like, I want justice, and they split the screen down, and Light was here. I want justice. And then I'm sorry, that was L. L had the Justin Bieber. Never say never. And then Light was over to the left. And I'm like, this is the perfect foil to Light. Because now I'm like, okay, this I can see, maybe I'm be wrong. Don't tell me nothing. But I could see like a cat and mouse game going on, chess and checkers. And it's funny because I was looking at the poster of Death Note now. So what I've done on my anime journey, I haven't even read up on the shows. Okay. When people recommend me the stuff, I take their recommendations, but I don't do no research. I don't read the pilot. I don't know the characters. So I didn't know in the poster that I put in the background of my first video, there's Light and then there's Ryuk in the background, and there's another person who's upside down. And when I first made the video, I was like, I wonder who this dude is. And now I realized it was L. But in the poster, they show his full face. But I was just like, because I was wondering the pilot, I was wondering, like, okay, because Light wrote so many names down the first time, I thought it was gonna be like, okay, episode 1, we got to kill this person. He's got to find their last name. And episode 2, he's going, kind of like how Scandal had like a case each episode. I thought it was gonna be like that. But he killed like hundreds of people in the first episode. So then I was like, okay, so what is the show gonna be? Because he done killed a hell of people in the first episode, and then they introduced L. So I was like, okay, now it's great. So I can't believe how good this show's first 2 episodes are. Oh man, it's just, man, anime. The thing I'm most excited about this journey is it's like finding out about American TV, right? What I mean by that, it's like I've watched Game of Thrones and Boardwalk Empire and The Wire and Peaky Blinders and Gangs of London and Breaking Bad and Sons of Anarchy and Oz. I mean, just Sopranos, show after show after show after show after show. I'm 40 years old and I love television drama and all that type of stuff. So real quick, Orlando, this is what I want y'all to know about Patreon. I appreciate you for that $4.99. I started watching Death Note because of your first reaction. I've been binge watching. I'm hooked. See that $4.99? I appreciate you. Slide that over to the Patreon and you can get all type of this stuff. You can get these reactions because I'm probably just going to do these reactions. Maybe not every episode, but when I do them, it'll just be on Patreon. And then I'll use what I talk about here to make the short ones. But you could do that on the monthly. You could support me so I could do this more. But what I was saying is, it's like finding out about all these good shows that exist. And like Death Note, I'm finding out it's like 10 years old. I think somebody told me it came out like, they were like, oh, Death Note's an old one. I was like, oh, it's new to me. But it's like finding out that all these shows exist and you just did not know it. I'll be honest with y'all. It's so interesting how big the world is because you like, I never felt like I was never an anti-anime person. I just didn't know there was something for me. That's really what it boiled down to. I enjoyed Dragon Ball Z, but I honestly thought Dragon Ball Z was over. And I heard people talking about Jujutsu Kaisen and all that type of stuff. But when you're just living your life, you're not. And honestly, I thought I didn't even know anime was dubbed. I thought it was just in Japanese. So I thought people was just really into Japanese anime, which more power to them. But what I found out is, first of all, there's a lot of people who are into it. There's so much to watch. There's some that have like One Piece. They told me has like 1,000 episodes. So I'm working my way up to that because I can't get into that serious relationship right now. But there's so many different shows. And then I was finding out people were recommending me stuff. They're like, Kev, they not even all like, some are heavy action, like Death Note. Somebody I was talking to my boy about, he was like, Death Note's not heavy action, but it's heavy like suspense and thriller mystery. So if you like that kind of show, which I do, you like it, but I do also like action. He was like, you could go heavy action. There's some that are heavy action. He was like, there's sports ones. There's some that are funny. They said there's some that are for the whole family. There's also some that are, amen, sexual in nature. Okay. When I was in Japan, we went to a manga store, and on, I believe it was like 7 floors, on the 4th floor, I seen a lot of animated genitalia. Okay. And I'm realizing some people are recommending me some stuff as a joke because they'd be like, Kev, you should watch, I believe Food Wars is one. I don't know what it is, but they're like, you should watch Food Wars. And it'd be like a lot of sniggling and giggling in the replies to that. I'd be like, that ain't about food, is it? And I know y'all is there's something, and I feel like the new kid in school and all the kids at the school know this inside joke, and they're like, "Hey, get him to watch this," and I know it's finna be some peens, some vagines, or some titties, and I know somebody suggested something was like Boku no Pico, I believe, something like that. Boku no Pico, something like that, something like that. And I was like, I literally replied, I don't even, nobody even mentioned that one. That was like the first time I saw that. And then people was like, nah, girl, you gonna get him watching that? That's crazy. And then I was like, okay, so is that not about Pico de Gallo? What is that about? My overall point was there's a lot more than I realized. And to me, this is why I've been all in on anime so far. A good show is a good show. And a low key, and I don't know if all anime is like this, but the three shows I've watched, and I'm gonna call Blue Eye Samurai anime, just not because it originated in Japan. I get it, but I thought it was anime when I watched it. So, and I want to include the show because I liked it as well. The storytelling is so great, the characters are so great, but the storytelling vehicle is great. They don't necessarily go, we're going to tell the story like this. They go here, back, forward, back, forward, all that type of stuff. So I like this the way they tell stories. So it's just great. I'm fully invested, and y'all know me. My Attack on Titan stuff right here. My my Scout stuff is right in my closet. If there's a Titan near and it's necessary to go hands, shink, shink, skeen, I'm ready. Okay. The way I live my life, if I'm in, I'm in. I didn't know anything about anime in November of last year. I watched Blue Eyed Samurai mid-November on a trip to Japan. Coincidentally, it was literally not even why. I just was going to Japan, and that was a long plane ride. I needed something new because the shows I had, I just kept downloading and not finishing them. And then I wanted to finish that one. I wanted something new, so I finished that on the 2 plane rides. And I was just like, I gotta watch something else. Finish Attack on Titan in like 2.5 weeks. Once I'm in, I'm in. And people were like, "How'd you get the costume?" I ordered this costume while I was in Mexico. I was like, I like this show so much. I'm gonna order this costume, and by the time it gets here, I think I probably will be able to have a video. Uh, hopefully, I'll have a video idea. And by the time it came, I had one. I was like, what do I do the other black guy? Because Anyang Kambon got introduced in the final season. And when I bought the costume, he was not in the show. But I was like, what if there's another black person? Because shout out to Mel Mitchell, she does the black person in like Marvel and stuff like that. Marvel and other type of things. And I was like, I'm gonna do the other black guy in Attack on Titan. So if you like this type of chat, this is what I'm going to be doing on Patreon. I'm going to tell you why I can't do this publicly. I'm a businessman, and I got to handle my businessman. I'm going to keep doing the shorter reviews everywhere else, but the longer stuff, I got to keep my business going, y'all. We in a tight economy, and I'm trying to build a community. If it's for you, I'm going to make you want to do it. That's my whole marketing strategy. I don't have no whole bunch of money to market. So my whole strategy is like, if you like this where it's going to be. So if you're interested in that, come on and join us at the Patreon. And I want to take a minute to shout out people who sent money. Tanner Thomas, shout out. You sent $10. This is crazy. I wasn't looking at the comments, so I missed you, and I apologize. Shout out to my head and not to my heart. Flame Pillar Diaz says One Piece got green light for remake to update the old animation. Just wait for that one. Food Wars is about food. It's great. Do not watch Boku no Pico. Shout out to you. Oh, Food Wars is about food. Okay, I thought it was about penises and stuff. Start reacting to. He also says start reacting to episodes on your Patreon. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why I can't do that. I thought about doing that. Here's my honest truth, and I really thought about doing that. I don't have time. I don't have time. I watch anime while I'm walking. I do 4 miles a day, 4 miles 4 times a week. I watch it then, and to sit down and watch it at home and edit it or send it to an editor, I just don't have the time. And I know that that's part of anime, but I got to be true to myself. I can't keep that up, and I try not to do things that are not sustainable. And I just be honest. And the other thing about that is when I'm on a plane, like for example, I'm going to New York in a couple weeks. I'm a plane on a plane. I probably could get through, these episodes 20, 30 minutes. I could probably get through 10, 15 episodes in a trip. But if I'm always watching them for camera, it's going to take so long because I just don't have a lot of time where I'm sitting down where I could flip the camera on and do this. So I really thought about that, but I know I can't sustain it. And when you come to the Patreon, if you come, I want you to come honestly. I want to be able to tell you what I can provide, what I can offer. And I don't want you to come for those type of reactions. And then I just can't keep it up. And I just can't. And I thought about it. I really sat and thought, but I was like, bro, I don't have the time because I still got to keep up. And then all this I've been doing is before my regular scheduled programming starts, right? All this anime journey has happened in between the time where I wasn't shooting no podcasts, no interviews, hardly not. I had meetings, but not my normal meeting schedule because it was holidays. But in Hollywood, our work year starts again tomorrow. And all the meetings over the 3 weeks I was on low power mode, they all start this week. I got podcasts, I got this, I got that, so I can't sit and watch and be like, oh snap. And honestly, I just don't have the time. I'm sorry. So yeah. All right. I appreciate y'all. I must go attend to my family. Shout out to everybody who stayed. This is 1,200 people right in here right now. This is great. The anime community is fantastic. I do want to say this, 2 things before I leave, and I'm gonna go. The anime community has welcomed me with open arms in a way I was like so surprised by. I didn't know the anime community was this big online. Black people, if I'm being honest. No disrespect. I just didn't see that many people talking about it. I seen Mark and them in RDC World, Pat, Keenan, Cleo, Roxy Hayes, Long Beach Griffey, Meech on Mars, Tony Stadavici, who ain't black, but you know what I'm saying? We cool with Tony. He's Albanian. But that's it. When I found out how many people, Young Deuces for sure. He's anime. And they all cool blacks. But when I found out how many people who just are in my Patreon, who was like, came alive when I started talking about anime, how many people who are on Twitter who's reacting, I said, I've missed this whole world. Somebody said One Piece has the fandom of like Star Wars fans. And that scale made me be like, I've completely missed this, which is interesting, but like not that interesting because we live in our own worlds, right? I thought about this. I got into soccer because my son played soccer and then he doesn't care about it nearly as much as I do. When I found out about, like I knew about Messi and Ronaldo, Ronaldinho. I'd heard of Messi and Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Pele, I've heard of people, but I didn't, and David Beckham, but I didn't realize how big soccer was because it wasn't that big in America. And the MLS doesn't compare to like the Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff. And then I realized how many people are into soccer and how much bigger it is than any American sport. And when Ronaldo and Messi were in their prime, I was focused on Mike Vick, Jordan in the bronze early years, like T-Mac. I was watching sports that I was interested in. And same thing with anime. When I was watching The Wire and Sopranos, people was watching One Piece and Death Note, all that type of stuff. So it's like dope. You get to find out. And then I found out there's sports animes, which was like sports. There's like boxing animes and volleyball and basketball. And I'm just like, this is a whole world. But like, obviously, Tokyo is one of the biggest cities in the world. But I didn't know American people got down like that. So at 40 years of age, 40 years of old, 40 years of age, I found out something new about the world. And this journey is going to be super, super dope. So if you want to stick around, you can for free. It's always welcome to catch my stuff for free. I'm not going to stop doing those short review clips. But if you want more, there's more on Patreon. It's up to you. God bless you. God keep you. We'll see you at the conference.